Hi guys, and welcome to your daily tarot reading for Thursday the 23rd of March. Thanks for joining me. I want to use the Crystal Visions Tarot for today's reading. I've always really liked these cards. There's this really warm, kind of gentle, feminine quality that they have. So I'm just going to shuffle these a few times and then I'm going to pick 3 cards to see what's coming up here today and what energy you'll be working with on Thursday the 23rd. So let's have a look. Okay, so first card, we've got the 2 of Wands, Dragon Rider. We have another dragon. We have the Wheel of Fortune, it looks like. Yep. And then, wow, 9 of Wands. Okay. So it's all heat, fire via the Wands cards. And then we've got the Wheel of Fortune, which is a major arcana card. And that's really about being able to change your destiny in a very significant way. So this doesn't look like a very subtle day. It looks like you're going to be incredibly motivated, you feel empowered, and you feel like you can tap into your own willpower and kind of apply it to your physical environment in order to make your hopes and dreams come true, in order to kind of build the structures in your life that you want to have. And the 9 of Wands, to me, usually that card is about the worst being behind you. To me today, it says that you're no longer going to tolerate doing things which distract from your life purpose and mission. And you've got to a point where you're now combining work and what you love to do. So it's this refusal here on this day to accept anything which really is going to put you in a position where you're not happy or you're not using your skills and talents. So that's an interesting energy, because if you've been in a situation, whether it's work or it's a relationship or it's a connection to a place, and the relationship hasn't worked for a long time, then this is the kind of day where you say, do you know what, I'm looking at this clearly today and I don't think I should engage with this anymore. I don't think it serves me, and maybe I've been in a bit of a fog or denial about this, but if it doesn't serve me, I'm not going to bother with it. It's really very much about your desires, but there's also a sort of ruthless cutthroatness associated with that. Because if you're saying, you know what, this doesn't work for me at all, and then you simply present that as a fact, it is a fact, but that's going to have an impact on the other person. So even situations like that, if you find it difficult to kind of speak your truth in a situation because you don't want to upset anybody, then this is the kind of day where you really would just directly and bluntly say it as it is, because the key thing I keep getting here is that there's an unwillingness to tolerate things that make you feel weakened and less than empowered. Okay, so the 2 of Wands is pretty near the bottom in the suit of Wands. They go from the Ace all the way up to 10. So we've got a little bit of fire here. And the little bit of fire usually is shown as a person dressed in red, standing in between 2 wands, holding the world in the palm of their hands. And the card is all about taking control of your life and saying, you know what, the world is a big, wondrous place, and I'm going to explore it for myself and see what works for me, and I'm going to create my life the way I want it to be. Here we've got someone who's even more kind of powerful. We've got someone on the back of a dragon. Dragons to me represent power and, I don't know about wisdom, but intelligence and kind of a formidable, dangerous kind of nature. And it's got the world curled around its tail. So he doesn't even need to hold the world. He's so in control that he's delegated to his travel companion or his pet or whatever the dragon is. So the 2 of Wands in this case says total control, looking at the world and saying, I'm not intimidated by the world. I'm going to make my mark here. I'm really confident in myself. I'm really willing to take a risk, but not even willing to take a risk. I'm willing to do something exciting. If it's risky, then ho-hum, I'll take that in my stride. But the key thing here is I feel empowered. I want to do something with my life, and particularly build something or manifest something in a practical sense. Then we've got the Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune here, we've got the sun and the moon at the center. I always think that the moon is your heart and the sun is your head. So they're perfectly balanced here. And then we've got all the signs of the zodiac around it. If I'm looking at a birth chart, the planet is the actual energy. The sign of the zodiac is how that energy is expressed. And then the house is what area of life the energy expresses itself in. So here we've got the entire kind of chart wheel. So we've got every possible energy. We've got every way to express that energy, and we've got every different area of life. But the key thing here is that at the center are your feelings and your thoughts. And I always feel this about the Wheel of Fortune. If you pick one and you let the wheel spin, you go round and round and round, and sometimes you fall off, and sometimes you slide down to another sign, and you're pretty much at the mercy of fate. So the key thing with the Wheel of Fortune is to get to the center and to say, I control this wheel via the axis. So sometimes I'm going to be up in life, sometimes I'm going to be down, but I direct the path. And that's very much aligned with all this fire here, because that's about your purpose and mission in life, what you really invested, what naturally makes you feel like this is worth living for. I'm just saying it in that extreme way, just to kind of illustrate that point, that it's something you really, really, really care about. So usually we've got a sphinx at the top, wisdom, and then we've got like a snake-like figure at the bottom. So it's simply a depiction that sometimes you may feel like the most powerful thing in the world, playing with the nymphs up here, which I just noticed. And sometimes you may feel like a lotus flower working your way through the mud and never breaking the surface, and it's all just like hard work and making your way through treacle kind of thing. So the key thing is to tap into that consistency that's present in all your ups and downs in life, and that's you. That's your connection with your higher self. That's you, all of you, your lower self, your higher self, your shadow self, your light self, all of yourselves. So it's really interesting to me as a kind of lesson via the tarot that there's a choice. You can either live and say, I'm going to control my destiny to a certain degree in conjunction with the higher realms, or I'm completely going with the flow. I'm a candle with the wind. I don't manifest anything. I don't plan anything. I'll just see how things go. And I feel like with everything, like with most things, I think a bit of both is important. But certainly, if the feeling is, do you know what, I have no say over my destiny or my life whatsoever, then that's not right. And I think the Wheel of Fortune is a reminder that we have a lot more power and control than we give ourselves credit for. And I always like mentioning the number 10, because to me it's a pathway. You walk up it and you get to a crossroads. You can go left, right, or straight. So again, you're at the crossroads. You decide which way to go. And you got a dragon, so, no issue. I think the desire to control and to make decisions and to say, this is something I care about, those kind of simplicities or those kind of simple certainties in your life, that's what you resonate with on this day. So if you have to make a huge, big decision that at other times would scare you, I think today is the decider. It's a good day to make a big decision. It really is. Any area of your life. So if you have anything that's still up for discussion, look at it again today, because you're going to be in a very powerful place to decide. Finally, the 9 of Wands. Usually it's a wall and there's a gap in it because one of the wands has been plucked out by the person standing in front of the wall of wands, and he's got a bandage on his head and he's looking over his shoulder, and it's kind of like, wow, that was hard work. The worst is now behind me. I've made my choice in terms of what's important to me. I've realized there's only so much of me to go around, and off we go again. Here we've got a warrior who's kind of taking a rest here with her lion and a crystal ball. So it's the power that has been required to get here. Now you're allowed to rest. So again, the worst is behind you. And initially when I looked at these cards, it was that sense of these things are now behind me and I don't want to go there again. So it's not just a rest. It's a process of qualifying my experiences. I've done this. I may have been told one thing, that it was going to be this kind of experience, but then when I actually did it myself, this was my perspective on it, or this is what I went through. And if I liked it or if I didn't like it, it's my decision whether I kind of engage with those things again in future. That's the strength I feel here, this certainty in terms of, yeah, been there, done that, not doing that again, particularly. Instead, I'm going to turn the wheel myself, be at the center of it. I'm going to hop on my dragon and go on my mission. So don't borrow other people's hopes and dreams. Focus on yours. And if you don't have one, today is a good day to discover it. So feel the heat here on this day. Okay, so it looks amazing. All this fire and all this, karmic, my destiny is changing. I love days like that. It feels dramatic, feels epic, feels like things are happening and moving. Have I done the numbers? No. 2 and 10 is 12. And 9 is 21. 2 and 1 is 3. And 3 is very similar to this. 3 in numerology is communication and new beginnings. Communicating with the self, what's important, communicating what's no longer important, and beginning with the new things that will be. Yeah. Okay, so I hope you have a fabulous day. If you'd like a personal... Oh, and I just want to show you this. I've been playing with this as I've been reading the cards. It's my crystal skull that I found in a drawer. I got this in Glastonbury and I absolutely love it. Yeah. Okay. So if you'd like a personal reading with me, please get in touch via my website. It's gregoryscott.com. On the front page, click on book your reading to audio reading with me. In my personal readings, I use the tarot, astrology, numerology, and my intuition. I combine all of those to kind of answer any questions you may have. To draw up your birth charts, I need your place of birth, date of birth, and time of birth. If you don't have the time of birth, don't worry. There's a process called chart rectification where I can work out your time of birth. You send me 10 or more life events and I can actually manually work it out. Once I have that info, then I can draw up your birth chart and that tells me everything. So if you have any questions about particular life areas, relationships or finances, or what's coming up in future, or good dates to plan events, or locations that will work for you, others that won't work for you. If you have any questions at all, please do get in touch with me for a personal reading. And if you like this video, then give it a thumbs up, please hit subscribe and share the video online. Have a fabulous day, and I'll speak to you tomorrow.